Welcome to the Apple Daily News. This podcast is created by Generative AI. Today is August 2nd, 2024. Links to all stories can be found in the episode notes. Delta CEO Ed Bastian has recently criticized Microsoft, calling it probably the most fragile platform in an interview with CNBC. This comes after Delta decided to sue Microsoft and CrowdStrike following a significant outage attributed to CrowdStrike, costing Delta around $500 million. Despite the criticism, Bastian acknowledged Delta's continued reliance on Microsoft's IT infrastructure, but emphasized the need for improved performance. He praised Apple for its reliability, noting fewer outages, although he avoided commenting on whether this is due to less enterprise reliance on Apple products. This situation highlights the ongoing tensions between Delta and Microsoft and underscores the complexities of corporate partnerships. Rain AI, a startup backed by Sam Altman and Y Combinator, has made significant strides by hiring Jean-Didier Allegrucci, a former Apple chip executive. Allegrucci, known for his work on iPhone and Mac processors, will lead efforts to create energy-efficient semiconductors for AI applications. This recruitment follows the hiring of Amin Firuz-Shahian from Meta Platforms, Inc. Rain AI's strategic hires reflect its ambition to compete in the rapidly evolving AI hardware landscape, aiming to enhance performance and efficiency in AI processing. Apple reported a 5% increase in revenue for its fiscal third quarter of 2024, reaching $85.78 billion, surpassing Wall Street expectations. Earnings per share were $1.40, exceeding the expected $1.35. The iPhone remained Apple's largest revenue source, although its revenue saw a slight decline year over year. iPad sales surged nearly 24% to $7.16 billion, driven by new models, while services revenue grew 14% to $24.21 billion. Despite a 6% drop in sales in Greater China, CEO Tim Cook expressed confidence in Apple's long-term prospects. The company also announced a $32 billion expenditure on dividends and share repurchases during the quarter. Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian revealed that a July 19th outage caused by a CrowdStrike update resulted in a $500 million loss for the airline, leading to over 5,000 flight cancellations. Bastian expressed concerns about continuing their relationship with Microsoft, labeling it a fragile platform and questioning the reliability of big tech companies, contrasting it with Apple's stability. Delta has hired attorney David Boies to pursue damages from CrowdStrike and Microsoft. Apple has announced its financial results for the third quarter of fiscal 2024, reporting a record revenue of $85.8 billion, a 5% increase year over year. Earnings per share rose by 11% to $1.40. CEO Tim Cook highlighted the company's strong performance and significant software updates, including Apple Intelligence, a new generative AI system. The company generated nearly $29 billion in operating cash flow and returned over $32 billion to shareholders during the quarter. Apple's installed base of active devices reached an all-time high across all geographic segments. In 1976, Steve Jobs presented 3 Polaroid photographs of the Apple I prototype to Paul Terrell, owner of the Byte Shop, during a demonstration that significantly impacted Apple's future. These photographs, part of Jobs' pitch deck, depict the Apple I setup and led to an order for 50 fully assembled Apple I computers. This pivotal moment marked the transition of the Apple I from a DIY kit to a commercially viable personal computer. The photographs are now being auctioned, with an estimated value of over $30,000. Multiple game developers have shared their frustrations with Apple Arcade and the Vision Pro platform, citing issues such as delayed payments, poor communication, and inadequate technical support. Some developers report waiting up to 6 months for payments, jeopardizing their businesses. Despite initial generous funding, the process of securing deals has become increasingly difficult. Developers feel that Apple treats them as a necessary evil and lacks a clear strategy for the arcade platform. Apple Inc. is facing a lawsuit from the US government, alleging anti-competitive practices that violate antitrust laws. The government claims Apple has maintained monopolies in the smartphone market by restricting third-party access to its iPhone and App Store. Apple has filed a motion to dismiss the complaint, arguing its business practices are lawful and designed to protect user security and privacy. The company asserts that the government's claims lack factual support and fail to demonstrate substantial anti-competitive effects. Apple has updated its App Store guidelines to explicitly allow PC emulator apps to offer the option to download games. This update follows the approval of the UTM SE app, which enables users to emulate older versions of Windows, macOS, and Linux. The revised guidelines now include provisions for mini-apps, mini-games, streaming games, chatbots, plugins, and game emulators. These changes are expected to streamline the approval process for PC emulator apps, reflecting Apple's ongoing efforts to adapt its policies in response to evolving technology and user demand. Apple's Wi-Fi password sharing feature allows users to share their Wi-Fi credentials with others without needing an internet connection. For this feature to work, both devices must have Bluetooth enabled, and the device sharing the password must be unlocked and have the receiver's contact information. The process includes validating the identity of the receiver through an Apple-issued certificate and sending the Wi-Fi SSID and password in an encrypted format. Apple is pressuring Chinese tech giants Tencent and ByteDance to address loopholes in their apps, WeChat and Douyin, which allow users to bypass Apple's 30% commission on in-app purchases. Apple has warned that it will not approve future updates to these apps unless the companies comply with its payment guidelines. This move highlights the ongoing tension between Apple's business practices and the operational realities of major Chinese apps. That's all for today's episode of the Apple Daily News. Be sure to check the episode notes for links to all the stories we've covered. Join us again tomorrow for more updates on everything Apple. Stay informed and stay ahead.